3, 2, 1. Yeah! Yes, sir. Amen. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with the Trillist One Piece podcast on YouTube. We have Goat Talk episode 2.
Yeah, amen. We say it all the time, what a time to be an anime fan, but in this case, what a time to be a One Piece fan. We're back at you with the greatest and Trillist podcast for One Piece. You know, this anime is amazing, and it has been amazing since the start, like the East Blue days. Oh man. But then you want to talk about when we got to the Grand Line. That's when shit really kicked off. We're all the way in Elbaf, but for the first topic, we're spinning back to Skypiea. Enel was a dog ass nigga, and he low key introduced observation Haki to the series. It's just Haki itself didn't materialize until Marineford, but Enel was going crazy with the observation Haki. And then you want to talk about his devil fruit, the lightning powers. It's actually insane. Like, it's one of the most broken Logia devil fruits in the entire series. But his bag overall is filthy, but still lost to Luffy. 3 times skip Luffy at that. So the question is, how strong would Enel be if he came back with Armament Haki?
My first initial thought is I'm jumping to second.
Only second?
That's my like high second is like where I'm jumping with just basic Haki, because I feel like it's really, regardless of how broken your devil fruit is, if you don't have advanced armament, it's tough to put you in that first commander room. I'm not gonna lie, like them niggas are monsters. But he could potentially be in there, because when you look at Sanji, before Sanji had advanced armament, he was kind of teetering that line of like pretty much being in there. There's nobody he could really fuck with in that room. But you could
got in that room too before he learned advanced armament.
Yeah, like you could throw him in there,
because everything else that he has going for him, like you look at the observation Haki, he might be a top 5 observation Haki user in the series. I'm not gonna lie, with Fujitora being the clear one. Like, this nigga Enel was hearing shit from islands away. His observation Haki is broken. Armament Haki may not be the most broken, but then you want to talk about the devil fruit. The devil fruit is damn near just as broken as the observation Haki. So
yeah,
that's where, to me, it's like, if he came back, like, Armament Haki is the one thing he was lacking. Truth be told, he should have beat this shit out of Luffy, but at the end of the day, he just couldn't touch Luffy. Now, still doesn't make sense that Luffy was fast enough to fuck with him, but whole new story. At the end of the day, when you talk about what he would be with Armament Haki, I feel like first commander is where he would be. And like, the only reason why I don't say top tier is because you're not getting in that top tier rule without advanced armament.
Yeah, fuck no. Like, and that's the thing, is his devil fruit is why I jumped to first. Like, that nigga was pretty much shaking all of Skypiea whenever he used it. Like, that's some serious power. Let alone lightning itself is deadly as fuck, regardless of who's using that shit. Like,
I can see him low key being low top tier, like almost as strong as someone like Rayleigh, just because when you really think about it, not too many people can really fuck with it now. I feel like he was second. I feel like he was second commander level without the Haki.
Ooh.
I know that's a high room, but I look at the niggas in that room. I think he can slide in that room.
See, like, without the Haki, I don't know a third that would necessarily beat him. But no Haki at all is kind of crazy when you want to talk about being in that second room, or no armament, I should say. Like,
yeah.
Cause like no, like you're not. I mean, cause here's the thing: his devil fruit can hit Logia users. He just can't physically, like, you know what I'm saying? But you can strike a nigga with lightning gang.
It's almost like Frankie.
Yeah,
Frankie didn't get into the. I mean, look at Frankie now.
I feel like even the bottom of top tier is kind of pushing it. But I'll say first. I can definitely see first. Just because his devil fruit is so broken. Like, it's literally, when you want to talk about the speed he's supposed to have, not the speed when he fought Luffy, and that was one of those cases he was introduced too early. But
yeah,
the speed he's supposed to have with being made of lightning, he's supposed to be the second fastest nigga in the show.
Yeah.
So when you want to talk about speed, he has it. Like,
and observation Haki, he has it.
Observation Haki, he has it. Like, it's just that basic armament. Like, if a nigga do connect, bro, you're not stopping that shit. Like, that's the thing that's tough.
Like, I'm gonna say high first. I can see him being around someone like Yamato. Crazy, but that's just how much I respect it now. If you give him Armament Haki, because that's the one thing he was missing.
I don't know if I would go that high. I would say he would be in that pack of the first commanders, like as interchangeable as they are in a lot of people's eyes, like in that King Kata Marco, like that, where you can kind of go back and forth between who you think is strong. I think you can throw Enel right in that mix, and it will be like you could interchange them. I feel like that's kind of where he would be. Like, he's in that mix. So I guess technically like mid first, top of first, kind of
mid first, high first, right around there.
Yeah.
I see it, but hey man, that's just us. Let us know in the comments, how strong would Enel be if he came back with Armament Haki?
Hell yeah, definitely let us know, because that's very interesting, especially as one of the first niggas to showcase Haki, even though we were ignorant at the time. But just to segue into another Haki question, you know, the Strawhats have a history of getting upscaled. Hell, Frankie just got one. A big one at that. Like, that nigga's energy has him literally juiced compared to what he was before. Then you want to talk about people like Robin getting upscaled in Wano. Like, the Straw Hats are getting their moments to shine, and they are not wasting it. Now, some of them don't get upscaled. Usopp, we were waiting for it in Elbaf because we finally got here. He had his moment, but he ain't really get upscaled. It was just a nice moment for Usopp, arguably his best moment. I don't even know if that's arguable. That shit was comp. But when you look at a character like Brook is a character that people kind of grade differently when you want to look at how strong he is. Like, some people say he's underrated, some people say he's right where he's supposed to be. But when you look at Elbaf and what happened, people were screaming for a Brook upscale just because of that attack he blocked from Gunko, when I don't really know how that can scream an upscale for Brook. But hey, if he did get one, I wouldn't be mad at it. But at the same time, what upscale could Brook actually get at this point? The only one I can really see is if you just kind of gave him armament. So, armament and observation. So, just keeping that in mind, if Brook had armament and observation Haki, how strong would he be?
Brook, like, Brook's an interesting one because he's not weak. Like, things people got to understand in One Piece is just because you're not commander level doesn't mean you're weak. There's a lot of fighters in One Piece. The average fighters in One Piece is very vast because the verse is very vast. But when you want to talk about Brook, I mean, I don't see commander level in his future. I'm not gonna lie, but then again, you look at his arsenal. He's fast enough to run on water. Strength is not really there, but he's a swordsman and he has nice abilities. You throw in the Haki, that would make him. It would make him more of a threat, but I don't know how much more of a threat. I can't really see him being a third commander level threat, even with Haki. So I would say fourth at best.
Okay. See, I can kind of see him being in that third room if he had both observation and armament. Just because when you look at Brook, the strength is tough, but Brook is fast as shit. And it's not just him being able to run on water. It's literally his main attack. You've already been cut. He's the humming swordsman. And you add Haki to those sword attacks that are that quick. Like, he can do some serious work, especially against Logia users. Not now, tanky ass niggas, like, that's tough for a nigga like Brook. I'm not gonna lie. Even with observation and armament, going against somebody who's real sturdy, like a Jozu or someone like that, yeah, GG's game. But pretty much anyone else, like a Jack or a Queen, like I'm not even jumping to Queen because we're staying in third. Like someone like Jack would be a problem for Brook because it's like, how would he do any damage to him? But when you look at other characters, I feel like it would give him enough to hang at least. Like, just because he's so fast, you throw on observation, he can actually evade attacks instead of sitting there and getting all his bones broke. I feel like you could make the case for him being third if he had both. But going back to the intro to the question, it's kind of hard to even see him getting both to begin with.
It's hard to see him get both. And even if he did have both, I'm going to still have to say fourth because I just start thinking about all the characters who are strong but are not commander level. Like someone like Oven. Oven is not weak. And Oven has Haki. I don't see Oven being third commander level. He's fourth at best. Like, can Brook beat Oven if he got observation and armament Haki? That'd be a great fight. Or Brook versus Peril Sparrow. That'd be another good fight. Now, Peril Sparrow, you can make the argument for him being low third, but still. Or Brook versus Cat Viper. These, like, I'm just thinking about all the niggas in that third commander room. Like, how do they match up versus Brook? Brook? I don't know, dog. Like, I feel like his offense, I need to see more attack power because he is the humming swordsman, but that humming shit only works against fodder.
I feel it. Like it really depends how much would basic Haki enhance that attack power. Like would that be enough to say, okay, yeah, it's enough to actually, even if it's overtime in a fight, can that put down a third commander? And that's where it's like, it's kind of tough. Like, and then like you said, someone like Oven, even though Oven's kind of a mismatch because Brook be using ice and shit, but still, like, someone like Oven, like, it's hard to see Brook winning that even with both. Like, I feel like he could do way better than he does now, but that's tough, bro. Like,
I think of niggas like Izo when I think of Brook with Haki. Drake.
If Brook had Haki, he might punish that nigga. I ain't gonna lie.
He probably would.
But I do. Okay, I'll probably say fourth then. But like, who else is in fourth? That's really, because I'm really only thinking like the Big Mom. I ain't gonna lie, the Big Mom is deep as hell. But like,
yeah,
those are the only real like fourth commander level characters that like stick out that Brook would struggle with. Like Oven and Daifuku, Peril Sparrow.
He'd struggle with Ulti.
Shit, Ulti make a case for third too.
Ulti does. But the rest of the Toby Rope, I feel like it's the same thing, aside from Black Maria.
Yeah.
Ufu second, but everyone else, like Sakazi, that nigga is probably beating Brook.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Third commander characters are just, most of them are tanky niggas. And then you go, if he's definitely not getting the second, so I feel like he kind of has to be fourth.
Yeah.
Hey, SOT has spoken. And yes, fourth commander is not weak by any means. Like, hell, you got Nami running around this bitch with a Yonko level power. Like, just because you're not commander level doesn't mean you're weak by any means. But, hey, SOT has spoken. Y'all let us know in the comments. If Brook had observation and armament Haki, how strong would he be?
Yeah, let us know in the comments, because that's a very interesting one. And again, can't stress it enough. There are tons of fighters in the One Piece verse that are not weak, that are not commander level. We could be here all day naming them. But just to segue into my next topic, you know, there's One Piece current situation on Elbaf has gotten chaotic as fuck. I mean, Emu pulled up. What the fuck? But at the same time, I mean, we got shit for that. That's what I like to think. That's what I like to think. But we're gonna find out soon. We're gonna find out soon. The reason why I'm so cocky is because there's so much firepower on Elbaf. We have all the giants and Loki, and then you have all the Strawhats. But even if you remove the giants and Loki, you got the Strawhats. Now, Emu aside, cause that's Emu. Most nutter niggas can't fuck with the Strawhats. They just sent 3 niggas to Elbaf, and the Strawhats themselves took care of the 3. Loki took care of Gunko, but still, Luffy packed that ass on Summers, and Sanji got rid of that nigga Quillian. Like, 3 niggas was not enough, but those 3 niggas were Holy Knights. They are not Admirals. It would be a whole new story if it was. So let's investigate that story. Keeping everything in mind, are the 3 Admirals, current 3 Admirals, enough to stop the current Straw Hats? By current 3 Admirals, we're talking Fujitora, Green Bull, and Kizaru.
Luffy already beat Kizaru. I personally think Zoro can take Fujitora. But regardless if you think he's winning that or not, they're canceling each other out.
Keep spinning.
So it's really, do you think the rest of the Straw Hats can beat Green Bull?
And at that point,
I think they can. I think they can. Like, the whole Sanji and Jinbei might damn near be enough to beat that nigga. Probably is enough to beat that nigga.
Frankie now with his upgrade.
Yeah, Frankie now with his upgrade. Nami has Zeus on the back line. Chopper's not a bitch. Like, Usopp and Brook don't even have, Usopp, Brook, and Robin don't even have to get involved for real. Like, I feel like we have enough for that. And to set the record straight, I got Zoro over Fujitora right now.
I do too. Like, it's crazy to think about. Because, nigga, the 3 Admirals.
It's a lot of power.
What? That's a lot of firepower. And you're telling me that the 10 Straw Hats are able to take that ass on. That says a lot. But you already said it. Luffy already beat Kizaru. And Kizaru's the strongest of the 3. But Luffy already beat that nigga. And he would beat any of the other 2. Zoro would beat Fujitora too. That's the 2 already down. You look at it like that, it's Sanji and Jinbei, and it's really just everyone versus Green Bull, and they're backing that ass.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, yeah, the Straw Hats are beating the current 3 Admirals. As crazy as this sounds, it may sound like Glaze, but that's what it is.
Like, unless there's some Green Book glazers out there that can somehow explain to us why the rest of the Straw Hats wouldn't fuck him up, like, it's cooked, game. They're not winning. The Straw Hats got it.
Damn. Gee. 3 Admirals. Oh, man. But, hey, man, that's just us. SOT has spoken. Let us know in the comments how y'all feel. Are the 3 Admirals enough to stop the current Straw Hats?
Hell yeah. Definitely let us know in the comments, because that's very interesting. Better throw Haki in that bitch, too. But,
better.
Just to segue into my next topic, One Piece sets the standard for a lot of things in media in general, not just anime, not just manga, because the live action has been cooking. Season 1 and Season 2 both cooked. And when you look at Season 2, they've adapted a lot of arcs from where we left off in Season 1 all the way to Alabasta. They've been cooking. They gave us the choppers. They gave us Luffy climbing up Drum Mountain. Like, sure, they tweaked some things here and there, and maybe your diehard One Piece fan might be a little mad about how they adapted certain things, but the overall consensus is that it's loved by all, and I'm one of those people. I love this shit. They knocked it out the park. But just keeping the One Piece live action Season 2 in mind, how would you rate it?
Well, we're not finished with it, but how would I rate it so far? Honestly, I would give it a 9.4. Like, it balances between a 9.4 and a 9.8. It has its moments where it's a 10, but overall, I would say like a 9.4, 9.5. And the reason why I say that is because, don't get me wrong, I like the actors, and like you said, I'm one of the One Piece fans that love it. Like, die hard, nigga, I love this shit. But some of the changes do kind of burn me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Luffy climbing up Drum Island, carrying Sanji in his... He didn't carry Sanji in his mouth until the nigga fell. I mean, I respect it, because how are you gonna do it? But it still was kind of a little bit damning, but they still made the scene hit. Then you want to talk about everything else. Little Garden was lit. Like, Mr. Five and all them actions was lit. Vivi's pretty lit. And she's a sister. But at the end of the day, honestly, I can't say that I was wowed out of my seats the way how I was in Season 1 to where I would just say 10 out of 10. But at the same time, it's still delivered and it's still fired. And again, we're not finished. So for now, I'd say a 9.5.
Okay. See, I'm kind of right there with you. I was going to give it like a 9.3. Like, because like you said, I wasn't wild out of my seat the way I was in Season 1. But a big part of that is because that wow factor is gone. Like, they already knocked out the park in Season 1. We were wondering, how are they going to do it? What's it going to look like? All of this. They answered our questions. They set the bar pretty high. So now you look at Season 2, the wow factor is not there anymore. Now we're just watching it more critically instead of just being amazed that they actually did it. And when you look at what they did do, the shit was fantastic. And that's why I give it a 9.3. But at the same time, like you said, some of the changes is like, there's certain scenes that, as a One Piece fan, you just can't change. Yeah. But at the same time, I understand why they changed it. Like, let alone rearranging certain scenes or adding some filler scenes to add some context for people. Like, they introduced Barto early than a bitch. But at the same time, it makes sense because he did say he was there and all of that. But they never actually interacted like that. But regardless, the certain changes they make, it kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit. And that's why it's like, I can't necessarily give it a 10. And like you said, it has its 10 out of 10 moments. Like, Zoro sliming out all of Baroque works. That shit was a 10 out of 10 moment. I'm not going to hold you. They bodied that shit. Like, it has its moments in there that are 10 out of 10. But as a whole, it's tough to give it that 10 nod. Like, it's interesting they have Nami looking like a fucking superhero and shit. Barto being introduced early, the drum mountain change. Like, there's certain things that it's like, I don't know if that was the decision they should have made. But at the end of the day, when you look at how they've adapted every arc, especially the pacing of it too, they're putting a whole arc into an episode, and that shit is fire as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they're covering a lot, and they're giving us pretty much everything that happened too. Like, even the Laboon scenes. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it a 9.4. I'm gonna bump it a little bit because they did do a great job adapting these arcs. But
yeah, and then you want to talk about the characters. Like, I think that's the biggest thing for me too. The characters, like, everyone's cast is what made the biggest thing. Like, the main Straw Hats, Zoro, perfection. Nami, perfection. Usopp, dog. Sanji, dog. Luffy, I think, was probably the least best out of the 5. But at the same time, he's probably the hardest to do just by default. And he still delivered to the point where you can still see that being Luffy. Just because, on one hand, they made him seem like really goofy. I don't want to say goofy. I almost want to say, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Incompetent, if you will. But at the same time, you got to remember that's how Luffy was at the beginning of the East Blue. So, I would say they did a good job with Luffy. It's hard to do that, nigga. Yeah. And Chopper, we're just getting Chopper where we're at.
Yeah, like, Chopper looks good. They kind of did it like how they did the live-action Sonic movie, which is pretty fire. Like, I'm not mad at how they made Chopper look so far, at least in his base form. Can't wait to see the rest of it. But Robin, they also pretty much killed. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Robin's actor, I didn't expect the accent, but it kind of makes sense, you know what I'm saying, the nationalities and all of that. But they killed Smoker. Smoker is fire.
Yeah, they killed Smoker.
They killed Smoker, I ain't gonna lie.
With Tashigi.
I fought with Tashigi too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the casting has been fire. And the way that they're so dedicated to nailing their parts accurately, gotta give a round of applause. Gotta give a round of applause. Now, again, we're not completely done. We got 2 episodes left. Them bitches is movies, I ain't gonna lie. But so far, I'm pretty much right there with you. I'm gonna give it a 9.4. But hey, man, that's just us. Let us know how you felt about live action. How would you rate the live action season 2?
Hell yeah, let us know in the comments because that's a very, very interesting one. The live action has been very fire and it has been delivering. But just to segue into my last topic, you know, Luffy is very strong. We just did the top 30 strongest characters not too long ago. If you haven't already, go peep. But we both have Luffy at 1, and ain't shit changed. Even after chapter 1179, with Emu coming out the cut with this new form, I don't give a fuck. Luffy's still up there. But, hey, maybe that can change. But that being said, Emu's gonna have to show me. But this ain't about Emu. This is about Luffy. Luffy has already showed me. And that's why I beat my fucking chest on how strong he is. Because he's done it time and time and time and time. Since the Grand Line all the way to now. He has so many fights that are just amazing. Katakuri is the best one, but Kaido's the most impressive one. Kizaru is also up there for most impressive ones. Then you have other ones that are very impressive, like Rob Lucci, Part 2 and Part 1, Doflamingo, etc., etc., etc. Luffy has a lot of fights. He also has a lot of moments. But when you want to talk about Luffy now, his bag is probably the filthiest. He has arguably the most broken devil fruit in the verse. He can bend reality. He can turn fucking water into jump. Like, he literally can transform anything into like transform reality. This devil fruit is broken. Then you want to talk about his Haki. He's arguably a top 3 Haki user in the verse. Observation, armament, and conqueror's Haki. He has it all. Luffy is a strong motherfucker. He is arguably the strongest in the verse. Not too many niggas can fuck with him. But at the end of the day, One Piece is balanced. There's a lot of strong motherfuckers in the One Piece verse. And they were all gathered. There was a time and place where they were all gathered in one spot. And that spot was Marineford. The Navy was deep, boy. They had 3 admirals plus some. They had Garp, they had Mihawk, they had all the warlords, they had everyone. So, just keeping the Navy side in mind and Luffy in mind, how many Luffys would it take to solo the Navy at Marineford?
How many Luffys? Off rip, the 3 admirals get one.
Yeah.
Off
one
rip.
for each.
Yeah. Then you want to talk about like a Mihawk. A Mihawk gets one. Assuming Garp would fight, Garp would. Yeah, Garp would get one, but that one could probably do more than just Garp.
That one could take on Garp and someone else.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Probably the rest of the warlords get one. Like, nigga, Dofi, Gecko Moria, like, all the warlords get one Luffy. Aside from Mihawk.
I don't even know if you need that many. We're gonna talk though.
Let me see. Is there anyone I'm missing? Sengoku, I guess. You can throw Garp and Sengoku against one. So what is that? 5? Throw in one more, and I think you got it. 6 Luffys.
I'm gonna say 3-on-3 off rip, canceling each other out. The 3 admirals take one each.
Facts.
You know that. Mihawk takes one also, that's 4. Garp and Sengoku share one, that's 5. And that's not me trying to sleep on Garp and Sengoku. They're just out of their priorities. That's simple. So that's 5. I feel like you would need one for all the other warlords together. And actually, that makes 6. And then you would need one more for everyone else to make it 7.
So 7, yeah. I can agree with that. So 7 Luffys.
7 Luffys, Marineford is done.
Yeah, I think 7. Like, trying to think if are we missing anybody? I don't think so. Like, anybody that's like a big hitter? Nah. Yeah, 7 Luffys could do it. Because the warlords ain't shit, really, aside from Mihawk. And he beat Dofi before he even had Gear 5th. Long before that.
He probably, that 7th Luffy, that final Luffy that's going against just everyone else, he may not even need Gear 5th for a while.
Yeah, no cap. Or he could go Gear 5th. Yeah, he could probably solo all the rest of the fodder in base form, nigga, and then go Gear 5th and go jump. Like, I think 7 could do it for sure.
7 definitely seems like the magic number.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Hey man, let us know in the comments, how many Luffys would it take to solo the Navy at Marineford?
Hell yeah, definitely let us know, because that's an interesting question. I ain't gonna lie. But just to segue into my final topic, the anime's coming back. I ain't gonna lie. We're about to jump into Elbaf in the anime, but before we jump into Elbaf and before the anime comes back, since we're recording this right before it comes back, when you look at the arc we just finished, Egghead was a fucking masterclass of an arc. I mean, you got not just what happened on Egghead, but the stuff that happened away from Egghead that's still part of the arc, like Blackbeard versus Law, Shanks versus Kid. That shit all happened. Then you have Egghead itself, Kuma's backstory. Oh my goodness, chef's kiss. Then you have Luffy Kizaru, Luffy Lucci, Zoro Lucci, all the bullshit that happened on Egghead. That shit was amazing. The Great Escape, the Giants pulling up, the Gorosei, like, then Vegapunk's speech. It was a masterclass of an art. But One Piece is full of masterclass arcs, and it's a good thing you just mentioned Marineford and its craziness. But just keeping Egghead in mind, is Egghead better than Marineford?
No. No. Like, I was wondering, like, Egghead is that shit. Chef's kiss. And on one hand, don't get me wrong, it always gets better in One Piece. But Marineford is the staple. Like, I always feel like there's only so many arcs that are better than Marineford, Wano being one of them. And at that point, it's tough. Like, Whole Cake could give Marineford a run for its money. Annie's Lobby could give it a run for its money. Don't get me wrong, Egghead could give it a run for its money, but I don't think it's better. Like, Marineford had much better action. And his action is not the end-all, be-all, but if you want to talk about story, Marineford had the better story, too, by a long shot. Then you want to talk about everything else. Like, I'm going to give it to Marineford. And it doesn't help that Marineford had a build-up, but I'm going to say Marineford.
I'm going to agree with you because of the build-up, and that's where I was going to go with it, too. Like, Marineford is the end to the greatest stretch of episodes in anime. So that by default boosts it. From Sabaody to the end of Marineford is the greatest stretch of anime episodes in any show. Mm-hmm. Like, so that alone is a major boost. But then you want to talk about Marineford itself. Like, nigga, the Summit War, the amount of key players involved, let alone the story being told. You got the reveal of Ace being Roger's son. You got the whole lore drop with Garp and Roger. Everything, them pulling up alone, Shanks stopping the war. Like, so much shit happened in Marineford, let alone, like, the action. I feel like the action's close. Just because of who we got and when in the story. And the way they were able to show it in Egghead, like, I feel like the action is close. But there was just so many characters fighting in Marineford that I'll still probably give it to Marineford. I feel like the story's close too, in my opinion, just because of Kuma's backstory and then the big lore drop from Vegapunk. Like, Kuma's backstory literally was nuts, bro. But I would still probably go Marineford. Yeah, I would probably go Marineford, but I feel like it's close. Like, I feel like all categories you look at is close between the two, and that's where I agree with you, where you say not just Egghead, but Annie's Lobbies, all these other arcs, they can give Marineford a run for its money, but the big thing is just that build-up gang. Like, from Luffy losing his crew to then immediately going to Amazon Lily, finding out that Ace was in trouble, like pulling up to Impel Down, going through Impel Down just to realize the nigga's already gone, then breaking niggas out, like Whitebeard pulling up too. Like, I feel like just that accumulation of shit before Marineford started is just the biggest boost to me. So I'm right there with you. I don't think it's better than Marineford, but I do think it's very close, because Egghead was fucking flawless to me. But hey, SOT has spoken. Y'all let us know what you think in the comments. Was Egghead better than Marineford? y'all let us know. Vice versa, let us know what you think about everything else we talked about in this episode of Goat Talk. As always, it was a movie, and it's been a pleasure. But if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that like button, hit the big red subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss the next episode of Goat Talk or any of our other special videos. We drop straight bangers on this channel, so make sure you guys tap in with us. With that being said, make sure you guys click our description. There'll be 3 links waiting for you. First one will take you to all of our socials, Sons of Tokyo on every platform. The second one will take you to our Discord. You feel me? Come on in, you know what I'm saying? Join that Discord. Come vibe out with us, talk about anything anime, non-anime, sports, movies, it don't matter. And last but certainly not least, the link to our Patreon will be in the description. Make sure you guys join that. You can become a member for free and watch all of our full-length reactions, including One Piece when it returns. It will be over on Patreon, so make sure you guys tap in with us. But yeah, man, with that being said, SOT out.